Hi everyone. I hope my voice is audible to all of you. May I get a quick confirmation over the live chat? Is my voice audible? Am I audible to all of you? Please confirm. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So, welcome you all to the post result session where we are going to discuss your results. And of course, we are going to discuss that what should be your strategy going forward in the next attempt. So first, guys, I will take up some general questions which I've been getting on my WhatsApp since morning that the students who flunked, that what guidance they want in general. And then consequently, I move forward towards your doubts, like your individualized problems that you would have. So what you can do is, meanwhile, I explain you the general questions. I ask you and request you that whatever doubts you have why you are in this session and what you want to ask, what has been your result, kindly put it on the chat box, okay, so that there's a little bit of lag between the live session and the time frame when I'm speaking. So it will be better that you actually put the questions in advance so that I can pick them up. Okay, so first of all, congratulations to all the students who've passed. And I mean, I'm really grateful. Before I begin with the students who flunked, I do understand your feeling as well. But since morning, I've been like flooded with the messages of students passing their papers, FR, SBR, AAA. And it's like really overwhelming because many students have even passed just by using free resources, not just by enrolling with me for these subjects, but also by using the free resources. So that's something that I would say. And thank you for sharing your results with your tutor. That really means a lot to anyone who's put in effort for you passing your paper. That being said, let's get started with the people who were not able to pass this attempt. Any paper, not just FR, SBR, AAA, any paper for that matter. I would say that, see, this is just a matter of 45 days. This is something that you know in your heart, right? You know that you're getting another chance after 45 days. Still, I've met students like who got 43, 49. I've talked to them on call and I've realized that they are really in that, in deep feeling of hurt where they're not able to control or they're not able to, accept this fact that they have flunked the paper. Maybe they flunked it twice, thrice. They've already flunked it so many times and now they're flunking it again. That situation is there where you're not able to accept the fact. You feel disappointed. You feel like why it happened with you, why you only, and why every time. These are the questions which come to our mind, and that is very, very natural. Whenever we face any failure, it's never easy to digest. It's never easy to accept the failure. So if that is happening with you, first of all, normalize it. It's happening with anyone who's failed the paper. And how many people have failed the paper? Is it just you? If you look at the pass percentage of ACCA, it's 50%. If I talk about SBR, it always ranges between 49 to 50%, right? So there are 50% people who are passing, 50% who are failing. If I talk about an exam like AAA this time was terrible, okay? It was like difficult at another level. So I'm sure the pass percentage is really low this time. But even those papers, if they have 33% pass percentage, only 33% are passing. What about the rest? What about the rest 67? They are failing, right? So 67 is a huge chunk. And 67% are failing. So why do you doubt yourself that I am good for nothing? Why it happens with me? It's a professional qualification. It's not that class 11, class 12 paper where, whether we've studied, whether we've not studied, we can still pass. So, first of all, please, uh, I would say accept it. Whatever has happened, it's not a failure, it's a learning. I always say this. I know this is something which you might not, at first instance, you feel like ma'am is just saying this. No, ma'am is just saying this for the sake of, it's very easy to say, but it's very difficult to digest. But I will tell you a very motivational small story from this attempt student. and I won't disclose his name, but if he's here, he must be listening to this. So he actually failed. He was studying SBR with me. Okay. He failed in the September attempt. He failed in the December attempt. And then he again joined me in March. First of all, look at the enthusiasm of that student. He gave SBR already twice, and he was always failing at margin 48, 47, 49. Every time, he failed, I always pinpointed, you didn't write the assignment, you didn't write the mock this time. So every time there was something which was a loophole in his preparation. Now, this time, the student has actually scored a pass even after a 10 marker was left. I'm not going to give you motivations of students who are getting 81. Highest scorer in my batch was of 81 for SBR and 77 for AAA. I'm not going to say that these are the motivational stories for you or these are the people you should keep as role models. Yes, they're good. But the most important thing is the person who actually flunked so many times and then rose to this and then came to this pass score. I mean, that is the motivation for you. So if today you feel like you're devastated, this is the end of the world, I can't, get through this feeling, why it happened with me, that's the motivation for you. I've seen people turning their 49s into 80s. That's the level of energy they put in their 45 days preparation. Because when we are hurt, when we know that ACCA rejected us at 49, when you are in that situation, you know that the examiner didn't get you through just because of half a mark. 49 means half marks, not 1 mark. So if examiner didn't let you go through because of half a mark, you develop that envy in you, that how dare he, how what was bad in me. So you try to prove yourself. I want you to feel that feeling. I want you to develop that feeling that, hurt should be turned into anger. And then in that anger, what you'll study, the energy that you will put in your studies, that's going to be on the next level. So don't feel like I'm good for nothing. This happens with me. All these are, bad, or you can say something which leads to further failure. So if you want success in life, learn from whatever you have, challenge you faced. Failure is also a challenge. Learn from it. I'll tell you exactly how to learn from this failure. So this is what I wanted to say in general for the students who have flunked in any of their paper, that first we need to manage our emotional turmoil, right? We need to manage our emotions. We need to manage and accept the fact that we failed. Now, the second step which comes towards, rebuilding yourself, first is acceptance. Accept that we failed. Second, second step which comes in your mind is to reflect. What was the reason? Let's be practical. Okay, I've talked about the psychological aspect. Let's be practical. What was the reason of your failure? Talk to yourself, self talk. Stand in front of the mirror. I know it's a cliche idea, but it really works. I still talk to myself in the mirror. Whenever I'm demotivated, I would stand in the morning and talk to myself. And, when you are eye to eye with yourself, that's another level of, you can say, counseling, where you don't even need a psychiatrist and you're just counseling yourself. So I really believe in that. So just talk to yourself honestly. What was the reason of your failure? Did you cover the concepts? Any paper and conceptual base is the major thing which leads to a success. Did you cover all your concepts? When I say concepts of SBR specifically, have you done all the test yourself understanding questions? Yes. Have you done the TYUs? Not. That's the loophole. Okay. Then comes the second point, conceptual building done. What about practice? Did you practice just on the basis of watching a tutor's lectures, or did you practice yourself also? Were you just looking at someone driving the car, or did you sit on the driving seat and drove it yourself? That also matters. That actually matters the most. You should do self practice. I do understand that we need tutors to actually draft answers for us. They are easy answers. I do myself. I conduct Super 20 classes. There are students who've just passed on the basis of those Super 20 classes. I admit to that. There's a category of students. But then these people, these students have actually also done self practice. Because if I am drafting a question in the class, if any tutor for any subject is drafting an answer in the class, he's using his mind. And you are like, okay, whatever he's saying is correct. What about your mind? Did you apply your mind? Because in the exam, the tutor is not there. In the exam, the answer at the back of the kit is not there. It's you, your question paper, and your mind. So you should know how to apply that mind. You should know how to kickstart that case study. And if you are weak in that, if you are not confident, I won't say weak, if you're not confident in that, then that leads to failure. Confidence is something that you might have been lacking. So conceptual clarity or confidence was lacking. And in confidence, I count practice. How do you get confidence? Will I get confidence if I cover the whole study text of my paper? No. Will I get confidence if I cover all the lectures of the tutor which is given to me? No. I might forget it. I might even forget what was taught in the lecture. Yes, it happens. If you talk about SBR, SBR is a subject, or AAA is a subject where you have a lot of theory, you have a lot of rules to remember, and you might forget. You might first understand it on the first instance, but later on you might forget it when it comes to apply the concept. So you need to do the cumulative revision. So there are various ways of revision. Either you could have done this revision via, reading the notes again and again, watching the lectures again and again, which is like the harder route, or you could have done the revision via practice. So when I am practicing the questions, I'm revising the concepts, no? If a concept come to my, in front of me and I don't know it, I will go back to the lecture, I'll go back to the source, I'll go back to the text, and I'll understand it again, and I will regain that confidence. That's revision. That's another way of revising. So, what could be the reason of the failure? Not having conceptual understanding, not getting confidence in the exam. Why not getting the confidence? Because you didn't practice enough or you didn't revise enough. Okay, that is the reason. Another reason which I really feel is biggest blunder made by the students, not giving the mock exam. You're afraid of, if I give the mock paper, I'll fail, I'll lose the confidence. So it's better that I don't give the mock at all. That mindset which few students have, I really criticize that mindset. I really admire the mindset where the student is like, ma'am, I have not done this, I might fail in the mock, but still I'm writing it. Because you need to understand, guys, when you are doing one question from one topic, let's suppose you were doing a 30 marker from SPR, you were doing it well in time, and you were like, wow, I'm able to manage 30 marks question in the given stipulated time. That means I'll be able to manage the whole paper. But then you act naive here. Why? Because in the paper, will you just encounter a 30 marker? You will encounter multiple questions from multiple areas, and you have the time pressure and the exam pressure to get done with that paper in 3 hours, which has four questions, which has a lot of complexities involved. And if you have not practiced in the exam environment, then you're not ready for the paper. That is the biggest reason of failure. So if you fail in the mock, it's fine, no problem. You at least experienced it. You at least experienced the 3 hour limitation on you. You at least experience how it feels like when it's not just a 30 marker, but a full 100 marker case studies thrown at you. You experienced that. So if you did not give the mock, you are not supposed to cry. You know your limitation. You know why it went wrong for you this attempt. So that is something that you need to improve. Yes. So this is something that I wanted to say, that first accept that you have failed. Okay. Don't go for revaluation. I just, said this to my followers on Instagram as well, that please don't go for revaluation. This is not something which will lead to change in your score. It feels like tomorrow I'll receive an email from ACCA and they will say, no, sorry, you are a pass. I know this feeling. It feels like so, but actually it won't happen. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to accept the fact, move on. And if you want to move on, reflect on your mistakes, find the loopholes. Once you've found the loopholes, then we will develop a strategy around it. And once we have a strategy with us, all we have to do is channelize our energy for 45 days to execute that strategy. You need an aim. To divert yourself from these emotions, you need an aim. So put that aim in front of you, right? So this is something that I have for you. Now I'll quickly just go through the scores. Like, if your score is within this range, then what should be your strategy? If your score is within this range, what should be your strategy? I'm getting a lot of queries that, ma'am, I failed my paper. Shall I enroll with you? Like, I failed SBR. Shall I enroll with you for the June attempt? So I always recommend you that first you analyze your mistake. See, if your mistake is on the practice side, then you don't need full lectures. You just need practice. So you will just enroll for the practice sessions, which is basically a crash course with me for any subject or with anyone else for any other subject. So, whatever your preparation is, you need to understand that if my score is within 45 to 49, the reason for my failure is not my concept. The reason for my failure is my lack of practice, lack of confidence, or shortage in my time management. So, either I screwed my paper because maybe I went blank in the paper, maybe I didn't practice enough, maybe I did not write mocks, maybe I did not write assignments. That is the reason. So what I need right now is, in 45 days, I should be practicing the most. So I'll quickly revise my syllabus by the end of this month, and the full month of May, I will give to practice. That's your strategy. So if you are in that category, you're planning for SBR, AAA, or FR with me, I would recommend you that you wait till May, you enroll with me for the crash course, and till April end, complete your syllabus. Revise your syllabus from wherever you've done in the past. Now, if you feel like I've already forgotten the syllabus, I need to brush it up, I need help in that, then go for any enrollment for any subject for the full batch, like the reset batch or the post result batch. That's your strategy one. Second, if you're doing self study, let it be that you don't want anyone to help you in the practice, you don't want anyone to help you in the concepts. Okay, you're doing self practice. I'm proud of you. So now in this case also, your strategy is, by the end of this month, that is April, you'll complete your syllabus, you'll revise your syllabus completely. May is completely left for practice. We will practice Super 20 questions, we'll do the full kit, and we will write assignments and mocks. I will be coming up 45 days plan for my subjects very soon on my channel, like in this week only, for any student who's starting with SBR, FR, or AAA for the first time. So I'll be coming up with those videos, 45 days plan, weekly plans. So till then, overview I've given to you. If you want to start it from today, that your target is to complete the syllabus by end of this month, right? Now coming to the next thing, that what if my score is lower than 45? What if my score is 40 to 45? Then you need a brush up of concepts. So I would highly recommend that you actually go through the text again, do the TYUs again. Okay, you might not enroll yourself, but if you want, you can. If you think that no, I don't have the time and energy for the self study, then you can enroll, because that's a better way of doing things. I would say it's a smarter way. Even if you get free lectures, I'm not saying that just enroll, even if you get free lectures, that's also fine. So basically, a tutor is coming and getting the things out of for from the text for you. That's a better way of doing, rather going and hitting your head with the text yourself. So that is something I'd recommend, because we are just left with 45 days. Come on. So we don't have enough time. We need to get on the smarter route rather than the hard work. Hard work is necessary in terms of, I would say, being consistent. But in general, if we have to cover ACCA in the given time, like if we have to cover a subject in 45 days, we need smart work. That's why I highly recommend that you do go for some sort of guidance or coaching. Second, what I would say is, if your score is even lower than 40s, like in 30s, late 30s, I would highly recommend that just erase whatever you've studied and start again, like refresh. So you need to restart, not refresh, restart. So whatever you've studied, don't depend on that. Don't think that I know it from my previous attempt. Forget about it. What you know from the previous attempt maybe is wrong. That's the reason you've ended up at 39. Maybe you've understood the lectures wrong. Maybe you've understood the concept from the text wrong. So you need to just leave it there and then. And you need to move on to the like new learning. Learn as if you're doing it for the first time. That is what I suggest for the students who are like lower than 40 marks. Okay. That's my strategy for you. Now, the students who've like failed a paper and they were already doing a paper, like they were, for example, if you give SBR in March, you were already enrolled for AAA. and now you plan on to, like, you're in a fix what to do. I failed my SBR, but I've already done half of the AAA. Subjects might be different in your case, okay? So apply to your scenario yourself. What you should be considering is that which exam you have failed, what is your score? If your score in that exam is 49 and it's for the first time, I'm not talking about someone who's been failing consecutively again and again. In that case, you need to take a break from the paper, and maybe you can leave SBR for now and go for some other paper, so that you first pass that paper, get the confidence, and then come back to the failed paper. If you're doing it again and again, the failure in SBR, that's my recommendation. Second, if you have received a result where you failed for the first time at 49, you're very near to passing. So don't get into those emotions that, I'll take up the paper which I was already studying and I will take SBR later on. Because then what would happen is you will forget that knowledge that you have from your 49 score. 49 is just half a mark away from 50. So you actually have some good amount of knowledge. So I would highly, highly recommend that you attain and you actually utilize that knowledge. You have done attempt. You need to utilize that attempt for yourself. So just sit for SBR now if you are in that category where you've got a 49, 45, 46, and it's for the first time and you still have the energy. If not first time, second time, you still have the energy to give this paper, go ahead. Again, I'm saying SBR, it might be any other paper in your case because I teach SBR, so I'm saying SBR again and again. It might be APM, ATX, AAA, AA, whatever exam that you were not able to pass. So in that case, which paper we were giving already. For example, I took a hypothetical situation where a student was giving AAA. He was already studying for AAA, but he failed SBR. Now he will understand that, okay, I need to give SBR and AAA both. How will he assess it? He will see his time, that am I a full-time student or am I a working student? So in that case, if you are working, you can't manage two papers because you need to complete both of them in 45 days. If it's professional level paper, it requires a lot of practice, mocks, and a lot of techniques are involved in case studies. So you can't go for two papers if you are working. You should be able to give at least 2 to 3 hours to each subject every day going forward from today. So that means if you are a working person, you can't manage two papers. So you can just manage one paper. Now you have to choose between the paper you failed and between the paper you were already preparing. So I gave you the filter for that. If you were preparing for AAA, leave it for now. Give SBR. If your score was 49, that means you already have knowledge. So you utilize that knowledge. If your score was in 30s, then you still have an option to go for another paper, right? That is something that I would recommend you. And if you want to manage both the papers, for example, if you're a full-time student, you want to manage both the papers, then I would recommend you that please go ahead with it. But when you put your feet in two ships, you have to be extra cautious, okay? It is not that I just want to pass one paper. Now I want to pass both the papers. And the risk is that now I might actually fail both the papers. So you can't be, first of all, lenient with yourself. You need to be highly disciplined if you're taking up two papers because you've already seen a failure now. And if you fail again, that will be very hard on you. And your mental health, your confidence, both will be screwed. I'm telling you in advance. So I would request you, if you want to take this risk of taking two papers together, please go ahead if you have time, but please don't be lenient on yourself. Be disciplined. Okay. That is what I would say. So this is something from my side for the general queries that I've been receiving. Now you guys can ask your doubts, what I've received on the chat box. Till then I'll answer those. Okay. So Narendra is saying, ma'am, I passed my financial management with 67. Congratulations, Narendra. Proud of you. Okay, Sai Prasad is saying, ma'am, I failed my AAA exam and this was my third attempt. I scored 48. I'm replanning the same paper for June attempt. So can you suggest me how I should approach it in my fourth attempt? So Sai Prasad, as you said, it's your fourth attempt. So before you start blindly with your text, blindly with your notes, and you enroll somewhere and get started, you need to keep a diary with you, piece of paper or whatever where you can write actually offline, like not on the screen. Just write down what was the mistakes or what were the mistakes in your preparation. What have you done in the past? And how can you do something different in this attempt? Because what you have done in the past has not clearly worked. So you need to do something fresh. You need to do something new. Okay. And that new should hit the chord this time. You can't take the risk of hit and trial, right? So you need to write where you went wrong, what were the things you've done already. Now you will develop a strategy which will be new, which will be different, because there is some issue with you passing this paper. And if I talk about AAA precisely because I teach AAA, I would say the reason of a 48 in AAA, this attempt paper was really very difficult. That's the feedback that we've received. And secondly, I would say that 48 means lack of maybe answer writing. Maybe you are practicing, maybe you're just reading the answers. You're not actually typing or writing them yourself. That could be a major reason of 48. And if you're writing it yourself, maybe you're not getting it checked. Because if I write something, I feel it is right. That's why I've written it. But I want to get it checked from some expert so that they let me know that these are the words that you've used which are wrong. You should be using these words, and the presentation is wrong. The answers are not posh. So all these queries will be answered by an expert. So get your mocks checked by someone who provides this service. Okay. So that's what I would suggest you, Sai Prasad. Girish says, ma'am, I was 2 marks away from success. Girish, that totally understand that. But 2 marks means now this time you have to work a little more harder. And whatever you've done, whatever shortcomings were there in the previous attempt of yours, you will overcome all of them. Okay. Then Audrey says, I failed SBR. I scored 49. I feel depressed. How can I start preparing again? Audrey, I do understand 49 is a score which will make you feel depressed. But can you see in the chat box, there are so many people who are in the same boat as you. So we are not alone in this. Yes, it makes us no different. Nobody is going to remember. I'll just, to comfort you, I'm not saying this, but actually in reality, nobody is going to remember that you failed a paper at 49. It will just become a learning of yours. Once you'll move ahead in time, like 5 years later, once you complete, 5 years later, once you become some director at a company, or maybe you pass ACCA very soon in 1 or 2 years. And when you look back at your journey, you'll feel like, oh, I failed this paper once or twice. It will become your experience. And then you'll be able to guide people that, it happens, it passes. Then once you get through this exam, you get back that confidence and you just forget what happened. So currently it feels very difficult to digest the fact, but with time, when and time passes, that's the nature and characteristic of time. It never stops, right? So it is going to pass, it is going to heal you, and you're going to come out of this feeling. And you need to put conscious effort to come out of this feeling so that you can prepare well for the next attempt. Yes. Then it hurts financially so much. I do understand. That's why please strategize properly so that you don't further have financial difficulty. Okay. I speak highly of you, Tashwita. You helped me pass SBR, and since then I've not passed any subject. Oh, hi, Toyin. I always talk to people about you. You the inspiration for so many students. I always talk about a student who was at the age of like 50s, and she was studying with me. Please message me. Ma'am, please tell which exam you would suggest from AAA or APM for last professional exam. I would suggest you go for AAA, not because I'm teaching it, but I would say because it's industry demanded subject. And if you have done SBR already, because you must have done it, so it's related to SBR very much. So AAA would be a good option. Otherwise, if you have like intense interest in performance management, then of course go for APM. Ma'am, how can I change my SBR from June to September? Of course, all the students who are already enrolled with me for the June batch, and due to some reason they have failed any of the skill paper. Today, after this live session, you will get a link on your WhatsApp group. You will fill that form and you will just write the reason of your extension, and your course will be freely extended to the September attempt. But the deadline to fill that form would be till tomorrow, like 24 hours. If I give it today at 7 p.m., tomorrow 7 p.m. is the deadline. Okay. Ma'am, how can I change my... Okay, I've answered that. Have been preparing for AA June attempt and now FR result lagged by 3 marks. Okay. I'm not able to understand how to go with two exams now. FR and AA are easily manageable together. Don't worry, you can do it. Okay. All you have to do is you have to strategize your day. So FR, like you can keep in the first half of the day, because FR is a little, you can say, has a lot of laws and rules around it, standards around it. So you need a lot of grasping power. So I think early morning is a better time to prepare for FR. And AAA is a very, you can say, the syllabus, at least, not the practice. The syllabus is very easy, so you can keep it towards the end of the day. That's what I would suggest. And wait for my 45 days plan for FR. So you'll get a lot of aid from that. Hi, ma'am. Can you give tips from AFM for a resit in June? Malvika, for AFM, I've already posted a video on my channel. You can check. It's not a like tips video. It's just my experience video where I passed AFM by just preparing for the 14 days. So you can check that video out on my channel if that helps. Okay. Bhumika says, I failed my PM exam again last time. I got 47 and now I got 46. What approach I should use to pass in the June attempt? Bhumika, for performance management, I would suggest practice again is the key. It's a number crunching paper. And if you talk about my experience with this paper, I just quickly covered the syllabus of this exam from the free resources like we have on Open Tuition, and I just moved towards the practice. Like the Kaplan kit is good for PM. So just pick up that, or whatever your tutor says, just pick up that and get done with it. And when you go and practice an MCQ for all the skill level paper, not just PM, whenever you're practicing kit, keep a highlighter with you. So if any MCQ goes wrong with us, we will highlight it, because it is this big document. So every time you go wrong, you don't remember what mistake you made. So the mistake that you make, please understand this psychologically. You made that mistake because you felt that was the right treatment. You felt that was the right answer. That means it is there embedded in your mind that this is the concept. Now you need to change that concept in your brain. So, what you have to do is you have to again revisit your mistakes again and again, so that you keep yourself into a check, that I remember the correct concept. I remember the silly mistake that I made, so that once that question again comes at me, I don't make the same mistake again. So, keep on highlighting the questions which goes wrong for you. Do it with the full heart, okay? Don't do it for the sake of just completing the kit. Your intention also matters, your zeal also matters. So whatever was your result, I do understand it feels like now giving up, but one attempt, I'm saying this to you, it's on record on my YouTube channel. If one attempt you do it with the full zeal, like you love that paper, not hating it for it making you fail in ACCA, but loving that paper, if you do it with full zeal for once, with a highlighter, with all those things, like you're understanding it without any distraction, whatever you read goes straight in your head. And it's not like you are distracted all the time when you're listening to a lecture, like you're listening to me right now. So I'm sure majority of you might be distracted. Majority of you might be doing something else along with it. So if you want to have success, you need undivided attention. So, with undivided attention, proper tricks, proper strategy, if you do the paper, I'm sure you'll pass. Okay, try it once. I said this, it's on record. Try it once. Come back to this video and tell me whether it helped or not. Okay. Then Sami says, my double A's failed at 49 and I'm also preparing for FM. Okay, double A's failed at 49. I would say please pick up double A again. If you have time, you can give FM along with it, because you have a good date sheet gap. Like double A is the first paper and FM is usually the last paper. So you have a lot of time to manage it in the date sheet. So I would suggest, if you're a full-time student, go for both. Double A is already a very low pass percentage paper. So please put extra efforts on the answer writing. Get your answers checked, not just the mock answers, assignments as well, risk questions, and don't go for those PDFs where people have given you already the risks are written, procedures are written. Try to frame them yourself. Audit is such, it's a very fun loving paper. I really love audit because it is so practical. So you have to actually make those procedures yourself. You have to actually make those risks yourself. So don't mug it up, avoid that. Do it yourself and get your answers checked. That's what I would suggest you. Tax fail at 49. I do understand that's quite really uh not so good. I completed FR and FM. Can I be able to write AFM without passing a PM? Alex, yes. So if PM is left from your skill level, I would suggest you book the PM paper for the September attempt. Like you have to plan your PM paper. This is what used to happen at my time. Anyone who knows what's happening now can, put the message on the chat box. But this is what I remember from my time. And recently also many students did it. They book their PM paper for September. Like you make the payment already for it, then you are able to book the next professional level paper. So you can book AFM for June, provided you book your PM for the September attempt. You pay for it already. Okay. How to avoid getting nullified in double A? Can you please tell us what to do and not to do so we don't get nullified? Okay, so double A exam results are getting nullified. The reason for that is, again, as I said, that many people are using the same resources, and double A is a paper where people are writing what is there in the kit, not even resources. Everyone is using the same kit, right? So what they're doing is what is there in the kit, they will just mug it up and write it as it is, because double A is like things repeat. So if you have those repetitive questions in mind, so you write exactly the same what you read. So you become that parrot. So if you become that parrot, they think that you've cheated. So actually you have cheated from the kit only, maybe you've cheated from the notes only, but the ACCA body thinks that you're cheating from a student. That's why you're writing the same answer. So many students write the same answer. And that is one of the reasons it's getting nullified. So what I would suggest is write it in your own words. Okay, use posh language, but write it in your own words. Okay. I failed tax with 48 marks. If it was my second attempt, but my first attempt was in June. I was already preparing for SBR. Now, what should I do? Okay, Kushangi, I think you should defer your SBR for now and pick up the paper you failed at 48 if you don't have enough time. Okay, and I don't suggest pairing SBR with taxation. It might become a difficult thing for you because both are very lengthy, both are rule based. So I would suggest do one. And since you got 48, I would say defer your SBR, pick up tax. Okay. Ma'am, is there a chance of getting results after appealing for nullified results? I've not seen this happening. If they nullify it, they nullify for a reason, but you can try. I've seen people getting revaluation and no result out of it, but I've not seen this honestly, so I won't guide you on it. Tips for AAA, wait for my 45 days plan. Okay, a lot of tips coming. Gia says, ma'am, I failed tax at 49 and SBR at 46. I've taken AAA from you. I really don't have any idea how to get with this. I work night shift for full time. Oh, okay. That's a very terrible situation, Gia. So first of all, I'm glad you gave two papers, even if you're working full time. That might be one of the reasons that you were not able to get through. So that is one learning from this attempt, that if you know that you don't have time, then don't be that risk taker. Okay. It's sometimes good to be a risk taker. Sometimes it's good to be practical also. So if we can manage one paper at one time, it's better to risk both the papers rather than risking both the papers. It's better to pass one paper. So I would suggest you for now, AAA should be deferred to the next attempt because you have to give AAA only once you pass SBR, because AAA uses the knowledge of SBR as it is. So once you've not passed SBR, there's no point of giving AAA. So defer the AAA paper and you can pick up maybe taxation for now. If you have the zeal, you can pick up both tax and SBR. If you have the zeal, if you don't have it, it's fine. Pick up tax for now, then SBR and AAA you can pick up together in the next attempt. That's my suggestion because they are like bread and butter. They go really good together, SBR and AAA. And that's the reason I'm teaching them together as well. Okay. Ma'am, I failed in AAA first time at 46 and I'm doing SBR. So should I go for both? Yes, go for both. SBR and AAA can be managed together, very well managed together. If you have time, if you're a full-time student, or if you can take up around 4 hours every day, go for it. Do you provide a mock service? I just provide mock service for the students who are registered with me. Like I don't have a course where I just sell mocks. So that thing is not there with me. But I think there are a lot of content creators and tutors out there who are giving this service. So you can get that. Okay, Parul, I got 40 in audit. It's my nth number of attempts. Should I take audit classes and carry forward? I was already doing PM preparation and I'm done with 60%. I'm already having PM classes. Parul, take a break from audit. Give your PM paper. Take a break from audit. don't let it affect you further. First give your PM, you'll pass that paper, then take another paper, pass that paper, then come back to audit. Is BPP enough to pass AAA? Yes, it is. I'm feeling like giving my last attempt in June, otherwise I may drop ACCA. Okay. I do come to these kind of thoughts as well, where students are like, we are trying to give the last attempt and then we'll drop ACCA. Okay. Dropping ACCA, first of all, should not be looked down upon. If something does not suit us, it does not suit us. It's okay to leave a qualification in middle. If it is not good for us, fine, we'll move ahead from it. But you need to understand why you're leaving it. Are you giving up because you're not passing? Or are you giving up because now you think that it's not going to help you in a certain way? Like you thought it would be this, but it turned out to be this, or you got some better option, or you have some other plan in your mind. So when you drop for those reasons, that is something which will not hurt you in the future in your life. You'll feel like, oh, I got something good. And that's the reason I left that qualification. Like many people, they leave their chartered accountancy, Indian CA, and they come to ACCA, they pass ACCA, they become ACCA, they become directors of Big Fours. And then when they look back at their journey, they're like, okay, something good came to us. It's fine, even if we left CA. So I would say, if you have that mindset, if you're leaving ACCA for something better, something which you feel is better for you, I'm not saying everything is different for, it's a relative concept. So you might feel that maybe you have some passion, maybe you have some another plan, and that's why you're leaving ACCA. You'll never regret it. But if you leave it because you are failing and you don't have another plan, then during your whole life you will feel like you lost something, you're not able to accomplish something. I don't want you to feel that. So I want you to give your best fight. Maybe taking a break, Parul, from audit will help you rather than giving up on ACC itself. That's my suggestion. Rest I think it's your choice, your parents, your friends, family. Okay. Lohit says, hi, ma'am. I have joined SBR September course. I'm not a full-time student. What should be the study plan? Lohit, 45 days plan is coming. Even if you've not started with your studies yet, I will give you a 45 days plan that even if you start with today, how you can pass your paper in the next 45 days. If you follow that plan, that's the last train which will leave the station for the June attempt. So if you follow that plan, you're good to go. Okay. Mini, ma'am, I failed both SBR and AAA at 41 and 39. I do not have time for two papers this time. Which paper is better to give in June? I was lacking practice, to be frank. Hi, Mini. That's quite hurtful to hear. I would suggest go for SBR. AAA, as I said, cannot be done without SBR. So first pass SBR and then AAA. Nikita says December 22 till now did not pass due to personal reasons and some faults of my own, but six times failures make me think I should quit. Nikita, if you know the reasons why you were not able to pass, and if you know that they were personal reasons which were not related to your capacity of learning, I think you should not give up. You should change your study environment, your study place, your study methodology, maybe the place where you're studying, you can change that. Maybe if you're studying at home, you can switch to library, you can change your environment, maybe you can take a break for some time, go on a trip or so, maybe skip a quarter. That's fine, but don't give up. Okay. uh, Manjima says, I failed APM for the fourth time and now I'm considering a change to ATX, my last paper. Okay. If you think APM is not suiting you, or not able to pass, I think you should talk to some APM tutor and they would be able to better guide you. But if you're not able to figure out the reason why you're failing APM, then it's okay if you want to shift your optional. Okay, Kushangi says, I failed tax with 48 marks. It was my second attempt, but my first attempt was in June. I was already preparing for SBR. Now, what should I do? Uh, Kushangi, if you are, as I said, full-time, I think I've already answered your question, right? So if you are a full-time student, then you can take up both. But if you're not, then give tax first and you can defer your SBR. And if you are enrolled with me only, it's very easy to defer your SBR to the next attempt at no extra fees. All you have to do is you have to fill a form whose deadline would be till tomorrow, which will be out after the session. Okay. Ma'am, I got 46 in AAA first attempt and I've enrolled for AFM classes, which is 40% complete. What to do now? Is it recommended to do AAA and AFM in June? Yes, you can do AAA and AFM both in June because date sheet is good. So you get a good time between the two exams. AAA, as I said, is the first paper. AFM is the last paper. So you get good time. Uh, if you have that, like you can give 4 hours every day to studies, you can pick up these two papers because AFM is relatively easier. And as you said, you got 46. That means you just need practice in audit. All you have to do is pick up the kit now and nothing else for audit. Okay. Yes. Yes, AAA was difficult in this attempt. Tips for PM. I'm not a PM tutor, but I would say it's all numerical. Please focus on practice. What I did for my PM paper, as I said, I just went to the Open Tuition website. I just got done with the syllabus ASAP. I made my notes from those lectures, handwritten notes, because those are revisionary videos. I won't suggest you to do those, but if you enrolled somewhere also, so just make your own notes. And there are a lot of formulae and stuff in PM and FM also. So keep those handy with you and then focus on practice a lot. Okay, ma'am, I've joined SBR September. I'm not a full-time student. What should I study plan? Lohit, I'll be sharing my study plan with you for 45 days very soon on this channel itself. So stay tuned for that. Ma'am, I failed AAA, but before result only I booked for SBR. Oh, should I book double A? Okay, you failed double A, not AAA. Should I book double A? My doubt is, am I allowed to give SBR because I don't want to give double A now? Uh, I think you will be allowed because you already booked your SBR, so it was not in your hands that what would happen. So you should be allowed. If you're not allowed, you should put an email to ACCA because if you're not allowed, they would inform you rather that, SBR now you can't give SBR. If you already paid for it, that means your paper is booked. So you are giving SBR. So if ACCA says something related to it, I think you can actually book double A for the September attempt. As I said, you can make the payment already. Which paper would you recommend for the fourth paper? APM, AFM, ATX. AFM any day, reason being it's a simple paper. It has a good pass percentage, not so lengthy. Double A is my last remaining applied skill paper, okay? Ma'am, would you help for FR for 45 days studies? Yes, yes, I would be part of our WhatsApp groups, guys. Just a quick information that if you guys are planning for your June attempt for FR, SBR, or AAA, please put a message on my WhatsApp. I will be putting my number on the description in the description box. Just put a message there. You will get added to the relevant WhatsApp group, which is a free group where we discuss the subject like whenever the marathons are there, whenever the grand revisions are there, which are something which I do free of cost, or whenever something like any discount is there or any discussion which is free of cost is there, please be part of those WhatsApp groups. Okay. So that will help you in your preparation. After passing the paper, you can leave the group. There's no such thing. But for that period of time, you must be there. Like for IFRSs, I have a lot of podcasts there on YouTube and Spotify. So I highly recommend that you be part of the WhatsApp group. Okay. Uh, Fine. Ma'am, please. I failed FM at 43. This was my second attempt. First attempt, I failed at 49. I'm already half prepared for AFM. Am I allowed to give AFM before FM? No, never give AFM before FM. Why would you do that? Don't do it. Is Kaplan enough to pass PM as I did not purchase any lectures from anywhere? I am doing self-study. Yes, yes. Open tuition and Kaplan. Good to go. Failed in AFM, got 47, but took SBR classes from you 10 days ago. Can I write both in June? I am doing job also. Uh, okay. See, if you have 4 hours a day, as I said, since it's two professional papers, Chinmay. So if you have 4 hours a day, please go on with both. If you don't, you can defer my SBR paper. There's no issue. I will let out a form. You need to fill it and you will be freely carried forward to September attempt. But if you feel good with SBR as of now, I think you can go with both of them. Okay. Fine. So I think I've answered many questions. Still, there are some questions which are left. So, yeah. How to increase typing speed as I'm never able to complete the paper within the time because of typing speed. Practice in the exam environment. Sakshi. So I think I shall end here related to whatever I wanted to discuss today. So I'm just putting my number on the chat box, guys. And just before we end this session, I just quickly want to tell you, if you want to enroll, okay, if you are planning for SBR, FR, or AAA, and if you want to enroll for the batch of June, as I said, you can do it with self study. You can do it with crash course also, provided you have to reflect that what is your score and how you should be going forward. But I would suggest you that if you want to go for classes, we are running 50% discounts right now, and you can avail that at the website of TG Professionals. Okay, so go ahead and enroll, and please don't forget to apply the coupon code. There are instances where people pay the full amount and then they're like, ma'am, I forgot to apply the coupon code. That becomes difficult for me. Please apply the coupon code. Okay, it's 50% off. So the coupon code is there on the website of TG Professionals. Let me just quickly look at the doubts again. Uh, Failed SBL first attempt, got 38. Can I retake with SBR in June? Yes, SBL is manageable. SBL is common sense. You can retake. How to register for your FR class for 45 days plan, please? I failed this paper. Just visit my website, TG Professionals, that is tgprofs.com. You will figure out the batch there. You can just enroll into the post result batch. 50% discount is going on, and I'll help you go through the 45 days plan and make you follow that 45 days plan. Okay, what's next? Yeah. The biggest demotivation is not able to see future, how it is going to be after starting jobs. For now, I'm student. Please reply. Serious issue. If you're talking about jobs, I think I've made a lot of videos on jobs. I have seen so many people who are having such a negative outlook about that jobs are not there. So I just want to say that, guys, do you see all engineers placed? Do you see all lawyers placed? Do you see all doctors placed? There is always, there's a profession and there is a rate of people who get employment late. So basis of that, you don't just a profession, right? You have to figure out that the person who's getting the job in that profession, what different is that person doing? How can you make yourself capable of that? And if I give you the insider information, I would say if you go for your, ACCA does not currently have, which I feel should be there. Honestly, I personally believe so. They don't give you placements, right? Like they won't give you the like CA would call the job fairs are held. ACCA does not have it. They have virtual job fairs, or they give you on ACCA careers website, they give you some job openings. But I would recommend that if you're doing your bachelor's along with ACCA, keep your college, which is like not online, like it's not distance. So if your college is like, for example, a good college where you are doing BCom from, and you have placements there. Now if the placements are happening from your college and you have ACCA as an added thing to you, I mean, of course you're going to crack the job as compared to all the other people. So you'll get the relevant job, you'll get the relevant package as per ACCA. It's just that through the college you'll be able to meet the recruiters, which is quite difficult. I won't say impossible, I won't say very difficult, but slightly difficult if we do it on ourselves. Like we have to go for networking, we have to build a profile on LinkedIn, we have to do all those stuff. So that's quite off the topic discussion. I've done it lots of time. Please check out my videos on ACCA jobs. There's a lot of videos on it. So do check them out. You'll get your answer. Okay. Failed SBR at 38. I've been taken a paper a number of times before. I'm currently enrolled for AAA. I have been going through the SBR again recently. Should I defer AAA? Tanisha, go ahead, defer AAA and pick up the SBR again. Is passing 50? Oh, passing at 50 is okay. 51 is like added one number, bonus mark. 50 is also good. 50 is 100. 50 is 100. Okay. So don't worry. Whatever is your score, you are good. So that's it, guys. Please contact me on the description box. You'll find the number. You can contact me later on. And that's it. Thanks for joining in live. I hope it was a helpful session. If it was, keep track with my videos on YouTube and stay tuned. All the best, guys. May God bless you. Okay. I don't know how to heal that part of you who's feeling emotional right now about failing the paper. I wish I had the power to do so, but unfortunately, all I can do is virtually talk to you. But I wish I had the power to take away all that pain from you because I know how it feels. So please bear with yourself, for a day or so. It will feel bad. Divert yourself. Okay, start practicing. Start with the hard work already. Prepare your strategy. Divert yourself. Get rid of this emotion. That's what I would say. So please don't dwell in this feeling. Just get out of this feeling. It will go away. This thing will pass. I'm telling you, you come back to this video, and 2 years later you tell me that, ma'am, I was crying this day, on this day I was crying, I saw your video, and today I am at this position, and when I look back at it, it feels so small. It feels like it was nothing. Why was I even giving out my so much of energy onto this? This will happen with you, I am telling you. So please don't take it on your heart. This will pass. Okay, you're strong. You have a lot of things to handle in life, and this is very small thing, just a paper. What happens? Just a qualification, what even paper, just a qualification. We'll switch to another qualification, we'll switch to another profession, we'll do something else, not a job, we'll do business. Today we have so many options. Why you should be afraid, or why should be so depressed over a paper? Okay, papers don't decide anything. So that's it, guys. I hope it was a helpful session. See you all in some other session, and may you all pass with flying colors in the next attempt. And those who've passed, once again, congratulations. I'll be posting my results very soon. Some feedbacks, not the results, like not the numbers, but the feedbacks I've already posted on my Instagram. So thank you, guys. It was a nice session with you on the chat box. I was not able to see you, but yeah.